You don't need to announce to the world that you're changing. You don't need to post about your struggles or explain yourself to anyone. The most profound transformations begin in silence. While the world shouts, the wise woman retreats inward and reorganizes, not to prove anything to others, but to reclaim what chaos has stolen from her soul. As Louise Hay taught us, the point of power is always in the present moment. Without inner structure, any freedom becomes just another form of disorder. Organizing your life is an act of profound self-love, and the wisdom of loving yourself unconditionally offers the key to putting everything in its rightful place, both inside and out. This isn't about controlling everything around you. It's about governing yourself with compassion. And governing yourself begins exactly here, in silence, with intention, and with the gentle discipline that comes from truly caring for your own well-being. I allow myself to transform quietly, honoring my own sacred timing. Principle 1. Place yourself at the center of your own life. Meet Sarah, a 42-year-old teacher from Portland, Oregon. For years, she lived on the periphery of her own existence, constantly rearranging her schedule around everyone else's needs. Her home reflected her inner chaos. Papers scattered everywhere, clothes piled on chairs, a life that felt like it was happening to her, rather than being created by her. External disorder usually mirrors internal disorder. When you're running from what's out of place in your environment, you're also running from yourself. We're not just talking about your drawers, your calendar, or your closet. We're talking about your soul, your relationships, your time, your habits. Louise Hay understood this deeply. A mind without direction is like a ship without a compass. That's why she taught us to organize our lives like we're preparing soil for a beautiful garden. You get to decide where you step, who you walk with, what you believe in, and what needs to change. When Sarah finally decided to honor herself enough to stop living in chaos, everything shifted. She started small, clearing her bedside table, creating a morning routine that felt nurturing rather than rushed. As she organized her external world, her internal world began to settle too. The transformation wasn't immediate, but it was profound. Sarah began to notice that when her physical space was clear, her mind felt clearer too. When she honored her own schedule instead of constantly accommodating others, she had more energy for the things that truly mattered. She discovered that self-care wasn't selfish. It was the foundation that allowed her to show up fully for everyone she loved. I trust myself to make choices that honor my highest good. Respect yourself enough to refuse to live in the middle of confusion. Place yourself at the center of your own story, because if you don't do this, someone else always will, and almost never for your benefit. You deserve to be the author of your own beautiful life. Respect yourself enough to refuse to live in the middle of confusion. Place yourself at the center of your own story, because if you don't do this, someone else always will, and almost never. For your benefit, you deserve to be the author of your own beautiful life. Principle 2. Release what no longer serves you with grace. Everything that weighs you down slows your progress. You can only reorganize your life when you have the courage to let go of what no longer serves your highest good. There's no point in accumulating connections that only drain you, goals that no longer make sense, or empty promises that keep you stuck. Jennifer, a 38-year-old marketing executive from Chicago, discovered this truth when she realized she was carrying the weight of 20 different commitments that left her feeling empty. She had said yes to so many things out of guilt and obligation that she had no energy left for what truly mattered to her. Louise Hay taught us that simplicity is not poverty, it's freedom. Only when you learn to create space do you discover room for what truly matters, without drama, without announcements, without needing to explain yourself to anyone. Jennifer began what she called her gentle release practice. Each week she would lovingly let go of one commitment, one relationship, or one belief that no longer aligned with who she was becoming. She didn't make a big show of it. She simply, quietly, created space for her authentic self to emerge. The process wasn't always easy. Some people questioned her choices. Some relationships ended naturally, as she stopped being available for drama and negativity. But with each release, Jennifer felt lighter, more authentic, more aligned with her true values. She learned that saying no to what didn't serve her was actually saying yes to what did. I release with love everything that no longer serves my highest good. Let the world think you're losing something. You know that you're actually just lightening the load so you can finally walk through life with grace and ease. When you clear away what doesn't belong, you make room for miracles to enter your life. Principle 3. Master your daily rhythm, and it will master your life. Those who master their days master their own stories. It's not grand plans that change a life. It's small, purposeful actions, repeated daily with love and intention. Waking up late, rushing through everything, living in constant reaction to chaos. This isn't freedom. It's disguised slavery. Lisa, a 45-year-old nurse from Denver, used to pride herself on being spontaneous. But what she called spontaneity was actually a lack of loving structure that left her feeling scattered and overwhelmed. Her days felt like they were happening to her rather than being consciously created by her. Louise Hay always emphasized starting with the basics. A well-structured morning allows you to set your priorities before the world sets them for you. Organizing your life means learning to use time, the most precious gift you have. Because it's not that we lack time. It's that we waste too much of it on things that don't truly matter. When Lisa created what she called her sacred morning practice, just 30 minutes of intentional time before the world woke up, everything changed. She would journal, set her intentions, and remind herself of her affirmations. This simple practice became the foundation that supported everything else in her life, but Lisa didn't stop there. She began to see her entire day as an opportunity for conscious living. She created transition rituals between work and home, established boundaries around her energy, and learned to move through her day with intention rather than reaction. Her colleagues noticed the change. She seemed calmer, more focused, more present. I choose to use my time in ways that honor my dreams and values. Your daily rhythm becomes the container for your transformation. When you approach each day with conscious intention rather than chaotic reaction, you're not just managing time. You're creating a life that reflects your deepest values. Principle 4. Organize your mind to calm your heart. There's no such thing as an organized life with emotions in disorder. Anger stored away, fears disguised as productivity, anxiety hidden beneath endless busyness. The wise woman pauses, breathes, observes, names each emotion, chooses what's worth nurturing, and lovingly releases what needs to be let go. Rachel, a 41-year-old therapist from Seattle, thought she had her life together because her office was immaculate and her schedule was perfectly planned. But inside, she was carrying years of unexpressed grief, unprocessed anger, and fears she'd never acknowledged. Her external organization was actually a way of avoiding her inner world. As Louise Hay taught us, the soul takes on the color of our thoughts. True organization begins with what no one else can see. When your inner world is stable and loving, nothing external can truly shake you. And this isn't about becoming cold or disconnected. It's about developing emotional maturity. Rachel began practicing what Louise Hay called emotional housekeeping. Each evening she would sit quietly and ask herself, "What am I feeling right now? What does this emotion need from me? How can I respond to myself with love?" This practice transformed not just her inner world, but every relationship in her life. Rachel began practicing what Louise Hay called emotional housekeeping. Each evening she would sit quietly and ask herself, "What am I feeling right now? What does this emotion need from me? How can I respond to myself with love?" This practice transformed not just her inner world, but every relationship in her life. She discovered that emotions, like physical objects, needed to be acknowledged, processed, and either integrated or released. Suppressing feelings only created more internal chaos. But when she learned to welcome all her emotions with compassion, even the difficult ones, she found a peace she'd never experienced before. "I honor all my emotions and respond to myself with infinite compassion." When you organize your thoughts with the same care you'd organize your home, you create an inner sanctuary that no external chaos can disturb. This is where true peace lives, not in the absence of challenges, but in your loving response to them. Principle 5. Prioritize without guilt. Not everything can fit in your life. Trying to carry everything only serves to crush your spirit. The woman who loves herself learns to say no without guilt, focuses on what's essential, and understands that letting go isn't weakness. It's clarity. Does it hurt sometimes? Yes, but it's necessary. Because only when you stop scattering your energy in all directions can you finally move forward with purpose and power. Maria, a 39-year-old entrepreneur from Austin, Texas, used to say yes to everything because she was afraid of disappointing people. She volunteered for every committee, accepted every social invitation, and took on every project that came her way. She thought this made her a good person, but it was actually keeping her from her true purpose. Louise Hay taught us that you have the right to say no to anything that doesn't serve your highest good. When Maria finally understood this, she began what she called her loving boundaries practice. She would ask herself before any commitment, "Does this align with who I'm becoming? Does this energize me or drain me? Am I saying yes from love or from fear?" The shift wasn't immediate. Maria had to retrain herself to pause before automatically saying yes. She had to learn to tolerate the discomfort of potentially disappointing others. But as she became more selective with her commitments, something beautiful happened. The things she did choose to do, she could do with her whole heart. Her business flourished because she could focus her energy on what truly mattered. Her relationships deepened because she was present rather than overwhelmed. Her health improved because she wasn't constantly running on empty. I trust my inner wisdom to guide me toward what truly matters. This wasn't about becoming selfish. It was about becoming selective. When you honor your own energy and time, you actually have more to give to the people and causes that truly matter to you. Your life finally begins to feel like it fits. Principle 6. Create environments that support your higher self. Your environment shapes your mind in ways you might not even realize. As much as it might seem like a small detail, the spaces where you live and work profoundly affect your energy and clarity. A chaotic bedroom, a disorganized desk, an oppressive home. All of this reflects back to you and influences your inner state. The woman who loves herself cleans with intention, removes excess, places everything where it belongs, chooses what's necessary, not out of vanity, but out of practical wisdom. Because every small external choice reinforces your internal discipline. Every quiet ritual of order is a reminder. Here there is structure. Here there is self-respect. Amanda, a 44-year-old writer from Nashville, discovered this when she realized her cluttered home office was actually blocking her creativity. She had piles of papers everywhere, books stacked on the floor, and a desk so covered with random items that she could barely find space to write. When Amanda began treating her space as sacred, clearing surfaces, organizing her materials, adding plants and beautiful objects that inspired her, her writing transformed. The external order created space for her creativity to flow freely, but the transformation went deeper than just productivity. Amanda realized that her environment was constantly sending her messages about her worth. A cluttered, chaotic space whispered, "You don't deserve beauty. You don't deserve peace." But a clean, intentionally organized space declared, "You are worthy of harmony. You deserve to feel inspired." She extended this principle to every area of her life, her car, her purse, her closet. Each space became an opportunity to practice self-love through conscious care and attention. I create spaces that reflect and support my highest potential. Your environment is constantly communicating with your subconscious mind. When you surround yourself with beauty, order, and intention, you're sending yourself the message that you deserve to live in harmony and peace. Help us build a world filled with positive energy and healing. A simple like and a subscribe are powerful acts of support for our channel. The hidden power of silent transformation. There's something profoundly powerful about transformation that happens in silence. In our social media age, we're conditioned to announce every change, document every step, seek validation for every decision. But Louise Hay understood that the most profound changes happen in the quiet moments when no one is watching. When you change without fanfare, you're changing for yourself, not for applause. You're not dependent on external validation to sustain your growth. You're not performing transformation. You're living it. This silent approach also protects your tender new growth from the opinions and projections of others. When people see you changing, they often feel threatened by your growth because it highlights their own stagnation. They may try to pull you back to who you used to be because your evolution challenges their comfort zone. But when you transform quietly, you give yourself the gift of uninterrupted growth. You can experiment, adjust, and evolve without commentary from the peanut gallery. You can become who you're meant to be without having to defend your choices to anyone. I trust the process of my own becoming, even when others don't understand. A moment of deep reflection. Before we complete this journey together, take a deep breath and look within. The silence you hear right now isn't emptiness. It's space for growth. How many times have you hidden behind busyness, excuses, or the fear of disappointing others? How many times have you sacrificed your own peace to fit into someone else's chaotic world? Louise Hay taught us that you are the only person who thinks in your mind. One day you'll realize that your greatest responsibility is to yourself, and absolutely no one else can live your story for you. Think of the women throughout history who changed the world. They marched together, but each had her own inner journey to navigate. Perhaps today you simply need to remember that all change begins in the quiet moments of self-reflection, that every strong foundation was once just one stone placed upon another, that every free woman was once imprisoned by her own limiting beliefs. Consider this. What would your life look like if you truly believed you deserved peace, order, and joy? What would change if you stopped apologizing for taking up space and started celebrating the unique gift that you are? What would be possible if you organized your life around your values instead of other people's expectations? I am worthy of a life that reflects my deepest values and dreams. Therefore, be gentle but firm with distractions. and infinitely compassionate with your own journey. Because life always asks us to pay the price of postponing our own growth and happiness. Your beautiful beginning. You don't need grand promises or noisy revolutions. What transforms your life is what you do in the sacred silence of your own heart. Every small conscious choice is a vote of respect for yourself. Every release of excess, every lovingly structured routine, every thought placed in its proper perspective is a step toward who you were born to be. Louise Hay's wisdom isn't about controlling the world around you. It's about governing yourself with love. And when you govern yourself with love, you transform chaos into a pathway toward your highest good. The beautiful truth is that you already have everything you need to begin this transformation. You don't need more time, more money, or more support. Though these things are wonderful when they come, you need only the willingness to start where you are, with what you have, in this very moment. Your transformation doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's journey. It just has to be yours, authentic, and true to who you're becoming. Every small step matters. Every conscious choice counts. Every moment of self-love creates ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. I am the loving author of my own beautiful transformation. Your journey of self-love and organization doesn't end here. It begins here. Every morning is a new opportunity to choose yourself, to honor your needs, to create a life that feels as beautiful on the inside as it looks on the outside. Remember, dear one, you are worthy of a life that feels organized, peaceful, and authentically yours. You deserve to wake up each day feeling excited about the life you're creating. And most importantly, you have everything within you right now to begin this beautiful transformation. The silence that transforms is calling you. Will you answer with love? I trust the wisdom within me to guide my beautiful transformation.